What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Top 5 Podcast, a show where every week we choose a topic and give you a top 5 ranking. I'm your host, Ron McNerney, and joining me today are my best friends, Zach Blanner,
What's up, everyone?
Colin Harding,
Wubba Fett.
and Matt Bush.
Woo!
Last week, we got some news about a new Pokemon game dropping later this year, the Diamond and Pearl remasters, and we wanted to make our own list of top 5 favorite Pokemon. We decided to exclude legendary Pokemon just as a preface, from our list as we plan to make and milk that content later on. So starting off this episode is Matt. So take it away, boyo.
Yo, my number 5 for this week is Volcarona. I'm not sure if you guys remember Volcarona. It's a fire bug type from Gen 5.
It sounds familiar.
No idea.
It's like a fire bug moth Pokemon. I believe it's a
okay.
pseudo legend from Gen 5. I could be incorrect on that. And Volcarona made my list because of me playing a lot of Smogon singles. Smogon, for you guys who don't know, is the fan-made competitive singles organization for Pokemon. If you guys are in the loop, actual competitive Pokemon that is sponsored by Nintendo is doubles for some reason. I don't think anyone's been able to explain why it's been doubles.
That's weird to me. I feel like it should be
Yeah,
singles or
I
just both.
I think it's because that like singles. I think it's because for timing only, because some singles games can take a long ass time.
That's fair.
Like off the top, that's the only thing I can think of. But other than that, I don't know. And there's a lot of fun sets that you can do with Volcarona that makes me really enjoy playing it in singles. There's like the fat defensive set with Roost and other stuff like that. There's the sub Quiver Dance set, which is my personal favorite. And then there's like some choice sets you can do. And then with Gen 8, they introduced an item called Heavy Boots, which makes Volcarona's main weakness, which are entry hazards, null and void. So you can play a sub Roost setup with heavy duty boots to mitigate stealth rocks, which was pretty freaking amazing
Stealth rocks.
for people who wanted to play Volcarona, like me.
Just as a preface
And
to everyone, Matt is a huge like showdown player and everything, and for Pokemon,
Yeah, he likes the big
really
competitive
enjoy
side
it.
of Pokemon.
yeah, he knows his stuff.
And that's like I'm really attached to the game just off that alone. I just think it's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, you've been playing it for pretty much your entire life at this point, too.
Yeah, not so much recently. It's gotten. I think I quit like when Gen 8 was new. I played a lot, but not so much recently.
Gotcha. Yeah. Anything else to say about your number 5, Matt?
Not really. It's just a. Oh, I will say that it reminds me of Mothra, which was my favorite Godzilla monster. Definitely
Okay.
another reason why it would make the list.
Gotcha. Colin, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Porygon. As a preface, I made my list completely based off of what? How old was I whenever I got Pokemon Red?
Pokemon
Probably
Red's
like
like old. You're probably like
5 years old.
Yeah.
I was probably like 5 years old because I had the Game Boy, and then my parents bought me Game Boy Color because my dad had a Game Boy and he gave it to me because he didn't want to play it anymore. So then they bought me a Game Boy Color later on. So 5-year-old me was only cared about the looks of Pokemon, and that's
Adult
what
me still
determined if they
does.
were in my party.
I think
So
that's
that's
how
what my
everyone's
list is
went.
made off of. It is purely based off of how they look and how they appeal to me. And Porygon, 5-year-old me thought that this was gonna be like some not just like legendary or like mythical Pokemon. I thought this was gonna like before I had any understanding of what Pokemon really was, I thought Porygon was this like insane can do whatever it wants because my brain said, oh, it can do transform. It's like Ditto. It's like this was like the original Pokemon in a sense or whatever. I had no clue anything about Pokemon, so at the time. But I was fascinated with Porygon because it knew transform like Ditto, but it looked cooler. So that's why I put it there.
It's a solid reason. What was the first starter you chose back in Red?
The first starter I chose, I'm trying to remember. It was a long time ago. It was I mean, like most likely it was Squirtle or Charmander because Charmander's super cool and Squirtle just looks super cool too. Bulbasaur was unappealing to a 5-year-old.
They're popular, so we understand.
I have my
But I mean,
Bulbasaur.
like,
I just
but
grabbed my
if you
Bulbasaur plushie.
yeah, I
but
mean, if you said like, today, if you said, "Hey, what are you gonna pick?" I'm probably gonna pick Bulbasaur because he's real good. But yeah,
All right. Yeah, just curious. Just because that was your first game, so I wasn't too sure. No, we haven't really talked about it too much. Zach, what's your number 5?
Yes, sir. My number 5 is Charizard. Charizard is just a classic bop of a Pokemon. Always the first starter I always choose in the beginning games. Just so everyone out there is aware, I have actually only completed a singular Pokemon game in my life. I sadly get in the rhythm of starting them, playing them for a while, and then just falling out of them because X, Y, and Z or whatever.
It's funny because you beat
Um,
X.
Yeah, that's the one I beat. But yeah, I Charizard, dude. I mean, what is there to say about Charizard? He looks awesome. He looks like a monster for sure. A dragon who can't, a dragon that isn't dragon type, which is weird. And yeah, Charizard is just a all around great looking Pokemon. So highly recommend Charizard if for whatever reason you've never played Pokemon and are trying to get into it. Yeah.
Well, Zach, that makes this transition easier because my number 5 pick is Charizard as well.
Hey.
I kind of based him more off of the anime, the show, the Pokemon show. I loved Charizard in the show, and obviously in the games too. Charizard was my greatest like starter I chose. Like he's just one of the best like Pokemon you can have, in my opinion. But also, I did make a very big mistake when I was younger, and I had Charizard, and I needed to teach a Pokemon the move Fly, and I was like, oh, I'll just give it to Charizard, cool. And then that's when I found out you cannot make them unlearn that stuff.
Nope.
So completely kind of messed up my kit back in the day, but yeah. You pretty much covered everything for Charizard.
Fly is at least a good move. It could be. You could.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Strength or something.
It could be like cut or something.
Yeah, cut or strength.
Yeah.
Like,
Flash.
Oh, I think like 3 of the HM moves are actually pretty good.
Flash, the most useless one.
Yeah, Flash is terrible. Waterfall and Surf are really good.
Yeah, I had one Pokemon, one like normal type Pokemon. I think the only reason I ever had a Bidoof in my party was because I made him like my HM hero, and I just threw like all the moves on him. Yeah, I think he can learn Cut, Flash, and I mean obviously not Surf and that stuff, but he was just my little bitch with that. So, but yeah, Charizard is also my number 5. Matthew, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is a pick that will get eye rolls from people in this party, but it is Venusaur is my number 5.
Oh,
I'm just surprised it's that low, to be honest.
Like, here's the thing: is like, I kind of feel like Venusaur should have almost been the art for Bulbasaur, like just smaller, right?
I understand.
Like they should have. I think they should have. They should have gave Bulbasaur like a little bit more flair, and I think he would have been a lot cooler to a lot more people.
Well, he just gets gross when he evolves into Venusaur. Like at first he's cute, he's a little guy, and then he's just like this grotesque fat thing.
I don't
That
know. I
is
think
who
Bulbasaur's
Ash
pretty cool.
chose, right? In the show?
Originally, yes, but then
Yeah, he
No.
does have a Venusaur in the show.
he does originally, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's
He
like, oh,
gets-
sorry, he's gone.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's what
I
I
I
was
mean,
gonna say.
obviously he gets the Pikachu.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, I was
But,
ignoring
like-
Pikachu in that, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
no.
Yeah, everyone knows he gets Pikachu.
Yeah, that's kind of just a given.
Well, he gets all the starters, realistically.
Eventually.
That is
yeah.
true. Yeah. He's the very best. Like
Because
no one ever was.
realistically, what aren't the starters aside from the games like just generic Pokemon you can just normally find pretty easily?
Yeah, pretty much.
Usually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Matt, tell us why Venusaur is your number 4.
Venusaur made my list because whenever I'm playing Gen 1, whether that be the remake, well, I've actually never played the original Gen 1 because it doesn't actually work. But when I'm playing my my Fire Red
For
or Leaf
shame.
Green playthrough, I always pick Bulbasaur because it's really good for the in-game portion of if you're trying to like just run it.
Elite Four.
It's
Elite
really
5.
strong for in-game. And I really like Venusaur in competitive back in the XY metagame because of the Mega Venusaur. So, I mean, this is like common knowledge, but grass types are typically booty cheeks. Grass as a type is pretty shit comparatively to the rest of the types, just because it has a lot of weaknesses and not enough super effective coverage to really warrant playing it on your team. But whenever they gave Mega Venusaur Thick Fat as its ability, it really negated a lot of the flaws that it
Gave
had. So
him-
it's basically only Thick Fat halves
Thick fat,
damage
that's what it's called.
taken. Yeah, that's its ability. It
Thick
halves
fat,
damage
like with a
from fire and
PH
ice
and
moves.
2 C's.
Yeah, he's built different, my guy. So it basically like only made him weak to psychic and flying, and maybe something else I don't remember. So he was just a fucking tank. Like you would run like a leech seed, synthesis, sludge bomb set, and he could just take hits for days. And I really enjoyed playing him on my teams with that setup.
You can have a solid kit with Venusaur. That is what I really appreciate.
And for the new
Yeah.
game, they gave him Weather Ball. So
Yeah.
you can. So it used to be event only. Weather Ball is a move
Weather
that
Ball's so
it's
good.
like 90 base power, but its typing is based on the weather. And Venusaur's hidden ability is Chlorophyll, so it would double his speed in the sun. But it used to be that you couldn't have Chlorophyll Venusaur with Weather Ball, so you couldn't like have a 90 base power fire move on your Venusaur for type coverage before. And now with the new games, they gave him that in the move tutor. So I've been having a lot of fun playing like a Chlorophyll max speed, max special tag Venusaur set, which has been that's just been a blast to play. I just have a lot of emotional attachment to Venusaur.
No, you do. I mean, that's why whenever Zach and I bring up that he's just trash compared to Charmander and Charizard, you just get all. It's funny just getting you agitated like that.
Well, I mean, he is, but like, also.
Well, I
it's
mean,
fun to
obviously.
piss him off.
I've never seen a fireman stop a fire with leaves, you know?
Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah, crazy. Little cabbage boy. Colin, what's your number 4?
So my number 4 is Gengar.
Gengar is a great Pokemon.
Yeah.
I love Gengar. I think he looks so cool. I know it's like very simple, but like he looks very menacing and cool at the same time, especially for a Pokemon game.
Is Ghastly a form of Gengar? It's Ghastly
Ghastly's
then
the
Gengar?
first one.
Okay.
Then it's Haunter, and then Gengar.
Yeah.
Haunter. Ghastly, Haunter, Gengar.
Yeah.
Got you. Great Pokemon. I think that might be my favorite ghost type.
It's easily my favorite ghost type. Let's see. So like the thing with Gengar is I really liked him from the show.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more that the show made me like Gengar than the game. But the game, whenever you go up into the tower and you meet like the mysterious Gengar, like it kind of makes you like go, "Oh, this guy's really cool," you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I really like Gengar. He was like one of my first Pokemon. Like I played with Gengar through well, so I never really got to finish the first game because as everybody knows, the first game is incredibly hard for children because there's absolutely no direction. Um and the story doesn't exist at all. So basically I didn't know what was going on. So up until Snorlax came, which was pretty early on in the game, I I was having fun with Ghastly and Gengars and stuff. And then I would just quit and restart and just play with Gengar and, hope for the best.
Yeah.
Zach, what's your
Yes,
number 4?
sir. My number 4 is Halucha.
Okay.
For literally no other reason other than the fact that I put him on my team whenever I was playing X, and he learned the move that matches the Pokemon he's going up against HP with his own. So I would throw him out, let people just beat the crap out of him. And there was a point where I ended up getting him down to 1 HP, and I just coasted on that. I made him like the first Pokemon I throw out. I'd match the HP to 1, knock people out all the time. And that's actually how I ended up catching I didn't want to use my Master Ball, of course, on Xerneas, right? Or no,
Think so.
Yavolta.
Whatever it is.
Yavolta, yeah,
Do you play Y or X?
it was Y. It was Y.
Oh, okay.
I
Then
didn't
yeah.
want to use my Master Ball on Yavolta because, like, you have to get him. So I just threw him out, put his HP to 1, caught him with a normal Pokeball because I thought that was just a big flex.
No, it definitely is.
And yeah, and I just kept him at 1 HP as long as I could. And that's how I ended up going through and like catching a bunch of legendaries. That's how I ended up beating the final 4 and all that stuff. So yeah, shout out to Halucha. He was probably the first Pokemon I used in like a tactical way, because like whenever I go through and I play the games, I'm just throwing moves out, you know what I mean? But yeah, Halucha was awesome. I was a big fan of him.
Hey, whatever helps. You know.
Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, that was it. Like, and he looks cool. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of the birdies. Um, he's kind of like a weird hybrid of a bird, but not. He's a flying type, right, Matt?
Yeah, he's flying fighting.
Yeah, flying fighting. Yeah, so he's got that little dual thing going on for him. So, yeah, Halucha is my number 4.
Awesome, awesome. My number 4 is Greninja. Little low on the list, I'm sure, for some of you guys, but
Stupid low on the list.
yeah, I chose mine for like different reasons and stuff. Like the top 3 are pretty much where more the preface kind of sticks in, but I love Greninja. I think he's one of the best starters. I honestly, he's probably just is the best starter overall. I just have some attachments to like other Pokemon and stuff, in the games, but he just has a solid move set. Definitely carries the team pretty much all the way through X and Y.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
nothing really too much to say. He's just a solid type. I know we're gonna hear more about him later, so I could just keep brief for now. But yeah, Greninja's my number 4. Matt, back to you for your number 3.
My number 3 is Nidoking.
Ooh.
That's a solid pick. I was bouncing back and forth with him a lot.
Covers all the bases that I want to when I'm looking at a Pokemon that I enjoy. It looks
Nidoking,
freaking
interesting.
badass. It's really good in game because you can evolve it super early, and it's just a monster powerhouse in game. And it has a lot of really fun stuff that you can do in competitive. So for singles, when I would play Nidoking, there's a lot of different sets that you could play. You could use him as like a stealth rocker type deal. Since he has sheer force and he gets a shitload of moves, you could run a choice band set, choice scarf, life orb, mixed attacker. He's very flexible and lets you do a lot of different and fun things that not all other Pokemon give you access to. And his type coverage is really good offensively. With the buff to poison types in Gen 6, it's now very much worth it to include a Pokemon with Sludge Bomb on your team. So it definitely ups him up a lot,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
definitely get some like good poison damage if you can get him poisoned.
Yeah,
You know.
and he's also just really fun to play with. I love playing with Nidoking, and I will if I get the opportunity to.
Yeah, he's one of like the what Nidoran is the first evolution, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, you can get them like you said, like really quick, like off the start of the game. So like it's easy to kind of just like start leveling them up from there, which I really appreciate because he is a solid pick. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty I think he like gets maxed out at like 16 or something ridiculous. Like as soon as you get the Moonstone, you're
yeah,
just
you can get him really quick, and he's just a really powerful Pokemon to have. Like it's good for like the strategy, like if you're really like in with the shits, you know, for starting off a game. I'm sure it'd be good for like a Nuzlocke challenge, you know.
Oh yeah, if I ever go back and try to like Nuzlocke Gen 3, I'm definitely picking up a Nidoking. Like I make sure that when I forget what game actually has them. I think it's Fire Red because I think that the other that Nidoqueen is specific to its own game. I always make sure to play the one with Nidoking in it.
Are they specific, or I thought you could just find the different gender and then
No, I think
No, they're
they're
specific.
okay. I don't know they're game specific. That's good to know. Yeah.
they all have like their handful of games that are or a handful of Pokemon that you can only get in certain games.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I forget what some of the Soul Silver and Heart Gold differences were, and that's when I start to notice it. Just because Zach had Heart Gold, and he was like, "Do you have this?" I'm like, "How the heck do you even get that?" And I just look it up on Cerebi, and it'd be like, "Yeah, you're kind of SOL if you don't have Heart Gold." So, and then vice versa for him. Yeah, good pick, Matt. Colin, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Chimchar.
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 So
Me too.
he is the first starter of Gen 4 that I picked. Mainly just because the actual Chimchar looks really cool versus the others. And Polion is always the one that you should go with, though. I mean, he's a Steel Water type. You basically win.
Is that the Piplup?
Yeah, that's Piplup.
Hell yeah, it is.
Piplup just looked kind of boring at the beginning, so I went with
What? He's a
Chimchar
little cute
because
penguin.
Chimchar's really cool in the show. So I went with Chimchar. Um, yeah, he was my first Gen 4, and Gen 4 was the first one that I genuinely finished on my own.
Yeah, Diamond was my first Pokemon game that I had, but I didn't beat it until after Soul Silver. It just took forever because I didn't know what the heck I was doing back
Yeah.
then. I just started like just fighting so many people, and then I was like, oh wait, I found this. I can actually use it to get somewhere else, you know. Or if you just like miss a
Something
dialogue, you were screwed.
something funny. Whenever I forget what it was. I think it was like right before you go to fight Palkia and Dialga basically. Um I guess like the few times that I pressed A in order to like continue the dialogue, it didn't work. And like my screen was just sitting there at dot 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 or something like that. And I was just like, man, what is going on? So I was like, oh, maybe it's like doing something in the back, or like maybe there's an animation that like didn't play or whatever. So I just let it go. And I let it go all night. And then school came the next day and I was like, "Oh man, it's still not ready." So I told my mom, I said, "Mom, make sure you don't turn this off because I have to get the legendary Pokemon." And then I came home and I'm like, "Oh, it's still not done." And I sat there like an entire day because it didn't register my first two times that I tried to skip the dialogue. And then finally at night I was like, "I'm just going to see if it's like now waiting for me." And so then I pressed A and it just continued and I went into the fight and I was like, "That's so stupid." I was so mad at myself because I was like, "It must have just missed it."
Yeah, dude, I high key missed the DS.
Dude, the DS was such a good system.
Yeah, one of my sister's students was talking to her. I guess they were talking about like Animal Crossing on the Switch or something, and he's like, "Yeah, like there's this thing back. It looked like it was like from like the 90s or the 80s. It's like a Nintendo
Might as well have
DS."
been
And it was like the
90s.
light, like it, or not before the light, like the very first
the
one. He's like,
original Nintendo
yeah,
DS.
and he's like, it
Yeah.
has like 2 screens on it. The graphics look terrible, and
Ah.
and then my sister was like, first of all, you're calling that old, and this came out well after I was born. That was pretty much like that
I
was
mean, the
my
DS
first
is
handheld.
pretty
I mean, it
old.
came out in like
It
what,
is old, but
2004,
not like
2005.
I think
Yeah.
like yeah.
Because my cousin
Before the
Scott
Wii.
got the DS, and we were like elementary school, I think.
We were definitely elementary school, 100% were. Yeah.
And then I remember getting the DS Lite like a few years after it came out.
Yeah, the
I had the
DS Lite's
DS
what I
Lite.
had.
That was the first one. I had the black one because like when it released, it was only like white and black, or it might have been black, and then they came out with white.
I think it was
My
like black,
brother-
white, and pink.
Yeah, and then my brother got the blue one, and I was like, damn it.
Yeah, I
Once-
got the black and red one.
Zach's need for the iPhone like Maxes and all like and the biggest watches and everything all originated from the Nintendo DS XL.
Oh, dude,
That's
I
where it all originated
man.
from. He would grab my
I had-
DS
The
Lite and
XL
be
was
like,
so
"You
much
have
better."
like the light. Why get the big version?" That's like,
No,
bro, it's like
dude.
$200.
Dude. No. So at first it was so I got the DSi. I was balling with the black DSi.
You were
It was
lucky with the
awesome.
DSi.
Oh, I had the
Well, it
DSi.
was
But I had
like-
the DS
it was
Lite,
a
then the
year.
DSi.
Yeah, I had the
had a
light
bunch of
and then
them.
I had the DSi. And then and I was balling with it, dude. I had it like I got it like a few years after it came out. But I was balling with it. I had like I had the fathead stickers on it with NHL teams. It was awesome. And then my mother and father were like, okay, we're gonna get Erica and Ethan DSs. And of course that was when the XL was out. So they
Yeah.
got the DSi XL. And at first I was like, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. And then I forget why. I forget if it was like my DSi, like I forgot it or it wasn't working or like something was going on. And then for like an entire trip on vacation, I used my sister's DSi XL. And I was just using it. I was like, all right, whatever, cool. And then when we got home, I went on, I think I forgot my DS and I went home, I went on my DSi and I was like, oh, dude, the screen is so small. What am I doing? So that absolutely sucked. But I never got the XL. It wasn't until the 3DS. Then they launched the 3DS. I was like, of course I want the 3DS, but like I know they're gonna come out with an XL, and I 100% know that that's the one I want. I'm just gonna wait, and I did. And actually, I ended up getting it because I, for some reason, won my March Madness tournament. The kid who doesn't follow sports at all, I won the March Madness tournament, and that was all the DSi XL money. Or the 3DS XL money. Yeah. So
I got my DS whenever Diamond and Pearl came out, roughly. And then I didn't get an upgrade to the DS until my senior year of high school whenever I bought the 3DS XL.
Yeah, I had actually, Ron, me and you got the same one, right? The Luigi's Dream one.
Yeah, so I've been through a whole lot of iterations of DSs. I had the DS Lite, the DSi, and then we got the 3D, and then I got the Luigi version, at Mario and Luigi's like 20th anniversary or something, for the 3DS.
It was.
I think I
no,
got
it
the
was
XL
the
though for
inside.
that one.
Yeah. You got the XL. You got the XL. It was the It was like it was Bowser's Inside Story, but it wasn't. It was like the newest version.
It was
It was like
I didn't like
Luigi's
it. I was
Dream
so
or something.
disappointed with it.
Yeah,
It was like Baby
yeah.
Mario and Luigi. Is that what you're talking about?
No, this is something else. It was
No.
just the
Like
sequel to
Luigi.
Bowser's Inside Story, but it was
Yeah,
good.
I
can look it
remember.
up.
I think it was Luigi. I think Luigi was asleep because I remember like one of the like commercials or something. You like would tug on Luigi's like mustache while he was sleeping or something like that with the pen. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's times when like I'm holding my Switch, especially when I'm playing Pokemon. it's always when I'm playing Pokemon, when I'm holding my Switch, I'm like, wow, I really wish it was just the 2 screens. You know, I wish I had that DS.
It's Mario and Luigi's Dream Team. That's what it's called.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Dream Team, the Dream Team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to pull us back from that huge sidebar, we all miss the DSs. Best handheld out there, 100%. Shout out to
easy.
Picto Chat. Love me some Picto
Picto
Chat.
Chat. Oh.
I
need
still
a
have my
Pokemon.
DS. I play it from time to time.
Yeah, mine's sitting on my desk right now. Actually,
I don't have it anymore. I don't.
No,
Well, actually,
I
it's a lie. I might
don't.
have the DSi somewhere, but I sold the 3DS. I needed money. I needed money pretty
Yeah.
bad. I sold that in the Vita.
Honestly, I'm so sad I did though. Like I really wish I just had it, you know.
No, me
Yeah,
too.
I was playing like old Kirby games, and I'm gonna start another Pokemon playthrough on that pretty soon.
I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, if you buy them right now, they're probably at the lowest price they'll ever be because now, like, they stopped
Yeah,
production
they're like
what last
it's
year.
they're pre-retro, so like they're sort of in like junk territory.
Yeah,
Right.
But
Yeah.
they'll be retro in a couple years. So if they're in good condition, you can hold on to them and get decent
Well,
profit.
I
hopefully.
remember there was a point where like GameStop had a sale on like the Zelda 3DS or something where it was like they were selling it for
hey,
like
that's one I have.
they were selling it for like $100, and if you sold like, and I looked on GameStop, if you sold it back to them for in-store credit, you got $110.
Oh,
So
I
you could
remember
flip
this.
them. You could buy them from
Yeah, that was a Bitmart
GameStop,
back in the
open them,
day.
and just flip them. Yeah, yeah, dude. I was considering it heavily for a while, but the business, you know,
I remember us
just didn't
going
jump
back
on
and
it.
forth on that a bit. It was like, is it
Yeah.
really even worth it? It's like a lot. You just show up there with
Yeah.
like some in-store credit and just slam down 10 Nintendo 3DS XLs.
I think the reason I decided not to was because I was like, oh, I'm locking in. Like if I spend the $100, that's $100 locked into GameStop. Like if it was cash, dude, absolutely. I think I 100% would have did it. But since it was locked
that's
into
fair.
GameStop, I was like, I don't know if I want to spend $200 and get
Something you want to.
220 in GameStop money. You know what I mean? So
No, for sure. But to pull us back from the sidebar, Zach? Question marks. We just did Colin.
yes.
What is your number 3?
My number 3 is Greninja. So my history with Greninja, I actually chose Fennec as my starter for X because I was like, oh, the fox, he looks cool. Did not look cool. Once he evolved, it's like maybe we'll flip it around. Nope.
Nope. The bag was fumbled.
Nope.
in the Fennekin box.
It
He
looks
was
stupid.
ugly, dude.
Ugly
Him,
little
Much cooler as
what was
base
the
form.
one from Gen 7 that they messed up too? These in Smash
All of
Bros.
them.
No,
I don't
I
know.
only don't like the fire one from Gen 7.
You talking about
I don't
Tepig?
know.
No, he's 5. He's in Smash. It's like
I don't remember what Tepig was, but I didn't play that generation that much.
I mean Tepeg's also really stupid.
Yeah.
I don't
But
remember which one
it was
Generation 7 was at this point.
in Y they had the Wonder
But
Trade where
Incineroar.
like in Y they had
Incineroar.
the oh yeah Incineroar, that's what, yeah. That's the moon, right? Moon and sun.
Yeah, that's
Oh, is that
Sun and
Moon? Okay. I thought that was the
Yeah.
one right before it because I also didn't play. What was that, X and Y? I didn't play that too much either.
But yeah, so I went with Fennec out of the gate, and then through the Wonder Trade where you can basically trade like a Pokemon and like you don't know what you're gonna get for someone else to trade you. I got a Froakie that had Matt, and you're probably gonna have to say what this is because I don't know what the exact name
Radiant.
for it is. The one where it like
It changes the type for
yeah.
whatever move it picks.
Yeah, right. So I got that, and he absolutely destroyed everything. Matt, I remember there was one time where me and you went into a battle, and I threw out my Froakie. You're like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna counter your Froakie, and you're like, nope, didn't work because he wasn't the water type at the time. It was yeah, I loved Greninja. Greninja was an absolute bop. The second I got him, Fennec had to get kicked into the box, and yeah, but Greninja led me all the way. Like if the 1-2 punch was Hawlucha and then Greninja, like Greninja was the hammer. Greninja was the hammer of justice that brought down everything I needed to get to, and Hawlucha was just the bystander who peppered in support. But
He helped
Yeah.
every now and then.
Yeah, I love Froakie. Or I guess Greninja, but yeah, that's it. He's also a great guy on
Just a great guy.
Smash. A good guy. He's just a really good guy,
Guy.
you know?
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, just a real man's man, you know? He'll knock you down but also pick you back up, you know?
He'll knock you down and be like, hey, so I don't want to see you doing that anymore, okay? Hand
Okay,
you
buddy
back up.
guy.
And you go, hey, I'm
Okay,
walking
guy.
here. Yeah. Good pick, Zach.
Thank you.
To move on to my number 3 is Dragonite. Also pretty much from the show as well. But I think I don't know. I really like the dragon Pokemon in
Yeah.
in either the show or the games or whatever, or the movies especially. I don't know. I think it also, this goes into the side of me of like Pokemon that just really look cool, especially as a little kid, and Dragonite was definitely like the poster child to me of like what Pokemon looks really cool. Because it wasn't really Pikachu and stuff like that hit it for me. It was
They
mostly.
made Dragonite look so mysterious in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like they made
Yeah.
Dragonite look like he was also like this crazy like mythical Pokemon and blah blah blah. Meanwhile, he's not.
No,
Dragonite looks stupid, dude. He looks like the derpiest little guy. I hate him.
I know that's why he's awesome. This is
But in the
amazing.
show, they make him look so cool because he's also massive.
Yeah, dude, he's a big boy, like an absolute giant. But yeah,
Did you guys ever Go ahead, Ron.
no, that's all. That's pretty much it. What's up?
Did you guys ever see, it was like the conspiracy theory that like what, because Dragonite evolves from Jatini, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like I forget exactly what it was, but basically it was like hypothesizing that the evolution for Dragonite, the way he looked, was supposed to be for a different Pokemon that looked equally as derpy, and then Dragonite was supposed to look like, I think it was Charizard. It could have been Charizard. But like Dragonite was actually supposed to look like this really badass dragon type Pokemon. Did you guys ever see that? If
I
Matt didn't
might have
see
saw it.
I'd imagine.
I
Yeah.
might have saw it on like Game Theory or something because I think I remember
Yeah, it
what you're
was.
talking about.
Yeah, it wasn't like a popular thing. It was just like a little. But yeah, I saw it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, Dragonite's my favorite derpy looking dragon. So that's why he's in my number 3. It's mainly just for the looks, but I also just like dragons and dragon type Pokemon and stuff. So
Yeah, dude.
Matthew, what is your number 2 pick?
My number 2 is Shedinja.
I was waiting
I
for him to be
hate
on the
you.
list. I wasn't sure.
I
if he was
hate
going
you.
Yours or
Bug and
Zach's.
You
Ghost
suck.
type that can only be hit by super effective moves.
You suck, Matt.
So there's a little bit of a backstory for this one.
Oh
Back
yeah,
when
feel free to talk about it, Matt.
the
Yeah,
Gen 3
yeah.
remakes came out, we did a thing, me, Zach, and Ron, where we would play through the base game until we were finished with the gym, and then after each gym, we would all battle each other, just with the
So
teams that we
much
had
fun.
in game.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
That was
And-
actually a bob.
Yeah.
I
Can
knew.
we do that again? Side note. Can we do
Yeah,
that whenever
Yeah.
what, Diamond and Pearl come out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
I'm
can do it
down.
again.
Yeah, all 4 of us. Let's do
I'm
it.
all in.
And I knew that like going into the game that I wanted to get a Shedinja on my team because I wanted to play with it, just because it's like a really fun and unique Pokemon to play with. And Zach and Ron had no idea what it did or how to beat it. So when we would go into our games, I would just sort of put it out and then clown them.
Dude, you throw it out, it'd be like
Until
1
they figured
HP.
out
I'm
how
like,
it worked.
all right, Matt's throwing. Oh god.
It's like yes,
I
but also
remember-
no.
I put a Poochyena on my team, I think specifically for you, Matt.
Yeah, because you had, or else you had to have a way to do it, like to get rid of it.
It was the most irritating thing in the world. He just clowned our whole team because we could be beating Matt, like, he can have 3 down and all of ours are still normal, and then he just throws out a freaking that little
No,
shit.
and the first time we played, he did it. He waited. He let us wipe his entire team until he took it out.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Pain in my rear, Matt. I tell you what. That was the most irritating game I've ever played in my life. But it was
Yeah,
fun.
I've tried making him work in singles, but he's just not good enough.
Yeah. I honestly forgot that we used to do that, honestly. It's only until someone brings up that Pokemon that I have, like, Vietnam flashbacks of, like, just traumatizing points in my life of trying to battle Matt. Yeah. Solid pick, Matt. Worthy
Yeah,
of a
he's
number
really
2
fun.
spot.
I love playing with him.
Yeah. Colin, what's your number 2?
So, my number 2 is I remember whenever I saw Abra on the show, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be like an amazing Pokemon," and I was like, not wrong, but also not necessarily right. Like I thought Abra itself was gonna be good, but it ended up being like Alakazam was pretty good. So Abra is my number 2.
Interesting.
Mainly just
Okay.
because he looks so freaking cool. Because he just looks like he just doesn't care, and he's always. It looks like he's sleeping, but he's really just like meditating.
He's like the Doctor Strange of Pokemon characters.
Yeah, like I always enjoyed the way Abra looked. And then like because he was like if you're a stupid kid, you don't know how to like really capture Abra in the game because he always teleported away. So it was like I don't know, it was like one of those things where I was so mystified by him and I was like really into how he's like this telekinetic guy because whenever they go to I don't remember what it's called now. The city with the telekinetic gym. Well, the psychic gym.
Yeah, they just get
Yeah.
to go to like gym or whatever.
I don't remember what it was, but whenever they go there in the show, like I mean, that girl was super messed up. But anyways, um, the whole thing was really cool because all the psychic Pokemon were just insanely good against everything there. Like nobody beat the gym. So like my brain was like, "Oh, Abra is so good. I might as well just like play Abra and never lose." Meanwhile, that's just not how the game worked.
No.
Yeah, no, not at all. He's a very, like, average Mon.
Well, no,
somehow.
Abra doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah, he doesn't like do
He only
anything.
teleports.
I
you
guess
have
that's
to
true.
switch train him to get him to.
Yeah. He was a pain to catch back in the day.
Yeah, because he only has teleport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So if you weren't able to hit him with that sleep and have a good catch rate, which I mean Gen 1 catch rates were awesome and so were Gen 2, but you know, if you don't have a good catch rate, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, no. For sure. Yeah, solid pick based off of looks and how he was in the show. So I can agree with it. Zachary, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Typhlosion. Predominantly because he is the first ever Pokemon I owned. I played Heart Gold. It was my first Pokemon or foray into the Pokemon universe, and I chose Cyndaquil because he looked absolutely dope, and he just stayed with me for the rest of the thing. I loved how they followed you in the game, and it doesn't make sense to me how after that they just got rid of it. Didn't make sense. Like
I'll never.
I loved how they
Like,
followed you.
yeah, like I thought that was just the standard of Pokemon. I thought that wasn't the new mechanic. I thought that was just how it was.
They
Shout
got
out
rid
to
of it
Pokewalker.
because those cartridges only hold so much info. And since Gen 2 was a smaller game, they could fit it. Where after that they couldn't make all the sprites for all of the Pokemon that followed you until much later into the
Makes sense.
But even like on the Switch hardware, they haven't done it yet.
They did it with Pikachu and Eevee. I'm pretty sure.
Not for like Sword and Shield.
Oh
no,
yeah, no,
but
not for
I
Sword and
think
Shield.
the thing with it is it takes up a lot of time in development in order to just have a Pokemon follow you.
I guess, but it's
But
also Nintendo.
in Sword and Shield, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense though, just because you can actually physically see the Pokemon roaming about.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like one of the things that I wish continued on in games because I started with Diamond and then I just played Soul Silver before I beat it, and that was like the best part of it was that I could have an Arceus follow me wherever I
Yeah.
went or
Oh
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Except in buildings, because at first it didn't make sense to me, but then I remember I went on the info for like a Rayquaza, and then it said how tall the Rayquaza is, and I was like, okay, it makes
Oh
sense.
yeah.
Rayquaza is a unit.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this makes sense why he can't follow me into the Poke Center and
Is
and
it
stuff like that.
Rayquaza or is it Rayquaza?
Rayquaza,
I think
Because
it's like
I
your
got in an
opinion.
argument with
to be
this with
honest.
some people
Also your
in
opinion.
college.
I think it depends on who you want to argue with.
I think it's like
Alright.
I think it's actually like genuinely your opinion.
I got you.
I think
Okay.
if it's
I
one of
just-
those
I didn't know.
things that you're like it starts an argument, then you're just with people who care too much, and you might as well back out now.
Fair.
Because
You
like
know.
sometimes it's based off like Native American culture or something, so there's like an actual pronunciation, but I don't think Rayquaza is based on any like on any dialect like that.
I
Could
mean,
be wrong.
I'm pretty certain they say Rayquaza in the show. So
Yeah, pretty much like my rule of thumb has been the show knows all. Even if
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
say it wrong in the show, that's just how it's going to be known to people, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good rule of thumb. But yeah, Zach, anything else to say about Typhlosion?
No.
It's a
No,
solid
he's my number
pick.
2 mainly. Yeah, he's mainly my number 2 just because, he was the first ever Pokemon I had. So, shout out to him.
Typhlosion is sick.
Typhlosion is a monster, bro. So I agree.
Yeah, we got the fire. He's looking real good in the new game, so
To contrast Zach's number 2, my number 2 is Torterra from Pokemon Diamond, which was he is a grass ground type of Pokemon, but he is also my first Pokemon. Shout out to little me when I was a kid. On the DS, I hated how they made the Pokemon's names in all caps. I just hated it. So whenever they gave me Turtwig, I nicknamed him Turtwig, but like, with just a capital T and the rest lowercase. And I was like, okay, like whatever. It didn't mean anything to me until he evolved. And then I was like, oh. I was like, oh, this is cool. So it just kind of just became like a joke between me and like my middle school friends that I would play Pokemon with that I had a Torterra named Turtwig. So, but yeah, solid Pokemon, grass ground type. So it could definitely like hold its own against a fire type, which was nice because it wouldn't get dominated by him.
Well, ground doesn't resist fire, so that's not correct.
Doesn't ground help beat fire? Or what am I thinking of?
Rock resists fire.
I'm thinking of something then.
Ground's
What?
neutral.
Okay.
Matt's saying rock.
No, I know. I'm thinking of something else then. I guess I don't know. But
Yeah, grass ground is a booty type combination,
Yeah.
but Torterra is a awesome Pokemon.
yeah,
Despite that.
yeah, he has solid defense stats. That's like where he shines, if I remember correctly. You can debunk
Yeah.
everything I'm saying right now if you need to. But
No, I mean Torterra's just a tank monster. That's his role.
mm-hmm.
And he gets
I have
stealth
to-
rocks. It's not like completely unplayable.
after playing Pokemon Go for as long as I have, it's really changed my perception of a lot of things with Pokemon. So like at the beginning there were some points in time where I was like, wait, but this Pokemon has like levitate and can't be hit by earthquake, and then I'm like, oh well, they can't really do that. So eventually like it has modified my perceptions to be now I forget like everything that actually goes on in these games.
Yeah, you play a stupid amount of Pokemon Go.
Dude, Pokemon Go is so much fun.
After
Like the
summer
competitive
16,
side,
I
the
haven't
competitive
touched it.
side of Pokemon Go is so much fun.
Shout out to Dr. Harold for playing Pokemon Go with us at Zach's
Yeah.
graduation party. Dr. Harold, if you're listening, let's go to Cheesecake Factory again. That was nice. Yeah, but yeah, no, Torterra's my number 2. Pretty much just for all the reasons I said. Yeah, I feel like everyone's like first starter is pretty much like the the most close attached that they can be. to anyone. So yeah, it's my number
First
2.
starter.
What'd you say, Matt?
I said the first starter is important, but it did not make my list.
Yeah, I know. I already know what your number 1 is. But before we get to that part, boys, we are now at the part of the show where we are going to go over our number 1 ranking, and kicking off his number 1 is Matt. So Matt, what is
Let's
your
go.
number 1 pick, and tell us why it's what I know.
My number 1 is Greninja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greninja is on 3 lists today because it is the best Pokemon. As far as like competitive play is concerned, Greninja was an absolute house. It was on every one of my teams until it got banned out of the format that I play because it was just too good after getting like a bunch of move tutor moves in the Gen 3 remakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a house in game because I mean obviously it's an offensive water dog type, just super fun to play with.
He's very quick too, so you're never really gonna
Yeah,
like lose that fight of.
Gets out of a lot of the speed tiers.
Yeah.
That like a lot of like Pokemon is a game that is like defined by power. Like think of how a game could be power crept, and Pokemon is infinitely worse in like balancing their game.
Yeah.
So like whenever Greninja got released, it was incredibly fast for its time, but now it's just like okay, it's like just barely fast enough to compete with the threats that they're coming out with today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was
Pokemon has just been significantly easier over time.
He's super fun to play with and competitive. His new form, he got the Ash Greninja is busted and super fun. And I love playing Greninja in Smash as well. Greninja was one of my mains in Smash 4. I kind of dropped him in Ultimate. Well, I mean, I kind of dropped the Ultimate in general. Just because of the netcode is so shit. It just became unplayable.
It's fair. Nintendo needs to get their servers up, but
And like
don't see it
the
happening.
design of Gren is just so fucking sick. Like he's like the Ninja Frog water dark type. Like
No,
how could
absolutely.
that not be something that you're immediately attached to?
No, he's super sick. I love him.
Yeah,
And
Gren's
he made the list, as you saw, my number 4, and Zach's 3, I think.
yeah, Gren will always be my favorite, unless something drastically changes, and I don't think it will.
No, I don't think anything like that is gonna happen for a Pokemon game anytime soon. Because we're not gonna get like another like standard new Pokemon game for like 2 years. So,
Yeah,
because they have the
or-
open world one coming out early next year, and then Diamond Pearl remakes this year, so it's gonna be a
yeah,
while.
I'm super excited to see how that plays.
Yeah, I'm curious on how it's gonna be.
It seems like they're taking a lot of like the fan made projects and incorporating those ideas. Because there was a like person making a game similar to Arceus for years, but I don't know if like it ever went anywhere.
Maybe they
Minecraft
just hired
Pokemon.
him and
Like
said,
they
"Here, make it for us."
Yeah, it almost seems like they either hired him or just took his idea and just went.
Oh,
full
they
send.
totally just took his idea.
Probably got hit with a cease and desist.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna.
We might get a cease and desist for making an episode of top 5
We're
Pokemon.
talking about our favorite Pokemon, honestly.
More than likely.
If we
Hashtag
do,
free-
I'm framing it.
I'll be
yeah.
really happy.
I'll make copies.
Tell them they
for
need to send
everyone.
4.
I'll make copies. Don't you worry. I'll get it laminated. We can all frame it. Yeah. Man, anything else to say about Greninja?
If I think about something else, I'll say it.
Okay. Colin, what is your number 1 pick?
My number 1 is another Gen 4 Pokemon. I thought he was just absolutely like the coolest thing. Rotom.
Dude,
He
I
was
love Rotom's so awesome.
Rotom is
he was
pretty cool.
the first Pokemon that could actually change like what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was so cool.
I used to think he was a legendary for the longest time.
Yeah, I mean, he
Just
feels
'cause he
like he
was
should
that
be a
unique.
legendary because he's
There's
super
there's a
unique.
legendary thing about him.
But then they
Yeah.
were like, "Hey, wait a second." After Gen 4, they were like, "Wait a second, we're just gonna make it so that way everybody has him as a phone."
This little
That
dude
is
that's
true.
like a little.
The little orange electric guy who's like 2
Yeah,
lightning bolts coming from the left and right of him. That's like
and
his
his
standard
shiny
form.
is so cool.
His
His
shiny
shiny
Yeah,
is
is
it
so
looks like
really
cool.
cool.
Who looks like a.
You have to like give him. I forget how you change his forms, but it's like
You
specific.
give
You
him
have to like
different
hunt
parts
down
of
his.
like what you want.
Yeah, you have to hunt down
Looks like a
the items for the specific
lawnmower, a
types.
fridge, a
Or no,
washing
in Gen
machine.
4, you take him to a special like if you want him to
fan.
turn into a laundry machine, you have to take him to a special like haunted laundry machine, and then he'll turn into a laundry machine. If you want him to turn into a vacuum, you have to go to a different part and like turn him into a vacuum, and like that's
Yeah.
how it was. But now I think if you want him to change form, you just give him like parts or something.
I swear in the show and in the games they just started factory farming rotoms and then just made them products for everyone like
Oh
the
yeah,
phones and stuff.
they
They
had
they
to have.
factory farmed them like chickens, dude, and then just start selling them. Yeah, because they're like a part of a lot. I think I might be exaggerating, at least like in the show, how much they were like a part of people's lives. I mean, definitely in the games, just because they threw them in as much as they
Oh
could
yeah,
for everything.
but I mean in the show it's like the same thing. You have a Rotom phone.
Yeah, I think the Pokédex is the only thing not powered by a Rotom.
Well, I mean now it's in the phone.
Now it is now.
I guess, yeah, you're right. Yeah, they did change that. Yeah.
Yeah, they said why have some unique cool thing that looks all neat and cool when we could just put it in a smartphone.
Zach, what
Sir.
is your number 1 pick?
My number 1 pick is Decidueye. The god of the
Interesting.
forest. Yes. I love Decidueye for no other reason than he's an owl, and that's my favorite animal. I sadly did not really get much of a chance to experience him in Sun because I never got past the astronomical amounts of dialogue that there were in the game. So sadly, my owl or my Growlithe never took that next step. But yeah, I just have heard nothing but good things about Decidueye, and the more I hear about him, he just sounds really awesome, and he's modeled after my favorite type of animal. So yeah, Decidueye is my number 1.
He was in Sun, you said? Sun and Moon?
Sun and Moon, yeah.
He's
Yeah. I didn't get past the first island. I just got so bored with it. I didn't like the structure of everything,
It's not very good.
yeah.
I like the ideas behind everything though.
I'm sure
Like,
it
the
would have
ideas
been
were good.
Cool, but
better.
they were like, "Oh, we're not doing gyms this time. You do these like challenges, but they're basically gyms."
Yeah, like
I mean, they made
that
it like a
turned the
little bit of
story off
a.
it.
I think the way they made the puzzle was a little bit cooler, and the fact that the challenges like made you feel a little bit more closer to the region instead of how gyms were just kind of like, it's just a person who lives in a town.
I just didn't think it was different enough. And plus, I know for me, since it was on like the tail end of the 3DS, I found that the hardware like really
No,
couldn't
it
handle
did not
what
support
they
it.
were doing. Like I dropped frames a lot in my Gen 8 playthrough. Like I'm talking almost Cyberpunk levels of frame rate.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yuck. At least one of
Yeah,
those games would have been
it was
playable.
pretty bad.
No, yeah, I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. I know I started black or white. I think I did white. Or no, I did black because the legendary was that like white one. I thought it looked really cool. And I couldn't get into that one. And then I know they made a black and white too, and I just didn't even bother with it. I think those like the only 3 I haven't played after like I started playing Pokemon. If I don't, that's the only ones I could think of at least. But because I took like a hiatus from Pokemon for a while after Black and White came out, and then Sun and Moon just didn't really do anything for me.
I don't know, a lot of people say Black and White is some of the best ones, and I just don't know how I feel about that.
They made a black and white too, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still Silver,
they
Heart
wanted to
Gold,
do
ride
something
or
new.
die. So, but yeah, Zach, it's your number one. My number one is, unsurprising to everyone, is Lucario. Absolute
Yeah.
amazing Pokemon. I don't know, I love his moveset. His stats are really good, but like just like in it was more like in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Also because he talked in the movie, which I thought was like
Yeah.
really cool. I mean, excluding Meowth, of course, because who cares about Meowth?
Meowth wasn't a cool character. He was comedic relief. So
Yeah, absolutely. The whole Team Rocket was comedic relief, just as a whole.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I know in Pokemon Diamond you can go through like I don't even remember how you got the Riolu egg that you could get. I don't know if that was like
Pretty sure somebody just gives it to you during like
Yeah, I
the
think
main
someone in the
quest.
game
you
just gives
you
it-
can do it off of like one of the towns. You have to go off like an island, but I remember I had my like action replay thing because I already beat Pokemon Diamond, so like I was just using it to mess around. And I know for Soul Silver I used to spawn in Master Balls because I couldn't care less to like, or I could, whatever. I just didn't care to like fight all the legendaries, maybe them run away and stuff. So I just threw Master Balls and caught them. But I like glitched out of the map and I like ran to the island, got the Riolu egg, and I would just get a bunch of them, and I just had like a team of Lucario, just because I liked them so much. But yeah, like if a game has Lucario in it, it's 100% a cop for me. And even if he's like the worst one on my team for some reason, I'm using him. I don't care. Like, I think he was in X, or it's not X. Sorry, he was. I think actually no, he wasn't X and Y, but he was in Sword and Shield, I believe.
I mean, he's the reason why I bought Pokemon Ranger.
Yeah. Oh wow, I just thought of this game too. You guys, what are they called? Oh yeah, you just said it. Pokemon Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guardian Signs was the one I had.
Yeah.
I freaking love that game, dude. It was awesome. You got to ride on a Raikou and an Entei and a Suicune. It was sick.
Yeah, they really did some really cool stuff with Pokemon Ranger, which eventually like they just decided let's just put all that stuff in main games now that we have enough hardware to do it, which
Yeah.
is cool.
I'll always miss that game. That game was amazing. Shout out to it. But yeah. So boys, that wraps up our top 5 Pokemon lists, and now we're going to go through our honorable mentions, and kicking off from his 3 to 1 is Matt. So what are your honorables, Matt?
Well, first I wanted to say that I think doing the honorables is honestly doing the actual list, because I could legit put like 50 in my honorable mentions,
Oh,
because
yeah.
That's
there's
fair.
a lot of them
Yeah.
that I love playing with, and I have a lot of fond memories of playing in the game. So take this
So no hard
as-
feelings.
Yeah, no hard feelings for the ones that I love that got left off. My number 3 would be Tyrantrum. I really liked playing with him in my Gen 6 run, and he's a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Rock Dragon type. How could I not love him?
Yeah. Of course, a
My
classic
number
Matt pick.
2 would be Flygon.
Oh, I like
He's
Flygon.
yeah, ground dragon type from Gen 3. I love again playing him in game. Super fun to play in competitive with like a choice scarf set. And his design is like, if this were like top 5 Pokemon designs, Flygon would probably be my number 1. He's like the dragonfly dragon aesthetic that he
Yeah.
has going on is freaking insane. I'll always be forever salty that they passed them up for Mega Evolution when they did the Gen 3 remakes. Still salty about that, even 5-6 years later. Still
Yeah.
should have got one. And my number 1 is Sableye. I really love Sableye.
Ooh.
He's pretty shit in game, but he has a lot of cool things that make him pretty cool outside of the in-game run. For the longest time, he was one of the 2 Pokemon without any weaknesses in type coverage until they introduced fairy types.
Oh.
And his prankster ability makes sure that you can play some like pretty fun sets, some like Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, Foul Play, Recover type sets, and just like mess with your opponent. And he got the Mega, which is just asinine to play against, but it was super fun to play with because he was so bulky and only had one weakness. and he had magic bounce, so you couldn't give him a status. So I really love Sableye, and his design is just freaking insane. He's like a little alien dude, almost like I forget what I was gonna say, but yeah, almost like he's just like a little alien dude with gems for eyes, and he's
Yeah,
freaking
dude.
sick.
What
His
is?
Mega's pretty cool because he holds that massive gem.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to
Yeah.
say. Yeah, it was really cool. But yeah, solid honorables. To any Pokemon listening, don't get disrespected by what Matt said about his honorables, because he loves all of you equally. Just about.
Not all of them.
Yeah,
but
no, not
I
all of
love
them.
a lot of them the same.
You don't like Psyduck? You're not like a Psyduck simp?
No, I'm not a Psyduck stan.
It's fair.
Matt, you never shut up about Psyduck. What are you actually talking about,
Bro,
dude?
crap.
Didn't you dress up as Psyduck for like Halloween?
Psydunk.
Psydunk.
That should be
dude.
their new like Kalos region change.
No,
Call him
for
Psydunk, and he dribbles a basketball on his nose or
yeah.
something.
Psydunk, dude. Honestly, it might have already been in the show, to be honest.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Colin, what are your honorable mentions?
So my honorable mentions are no particular order. Luxray. I remember I was so obsessed with Luxray because Shinx was so cool, and then Luxray just looks even cooler.
Yeah, he's like an electric Egyptian cat.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Like it's just cool looking, and he kind of reminded me of like Lucario, but for a dog
Mm-hmm.
kind of like looking thing. Even though
Yeah.
it wasn't really a dog, but was it? No, it was a cat, right?
He's a cat, yeah.
Yeah.
Looked like a
Then I had to
Doge.
like go back on it, and I had to be like, okay, wait, maybe he is a dog. But yeah, like I don't know, he looked really cool. He was pretty all right. Gen 4 he was pretty all right at least.
He was a good starter for your
Yeah.
team. Yeah.
I got Sandshrew, which I think a lot of
Okay.
people just share a very big love for Sandshrew.
I
Sandshrew
do
is
really
just-
love Sandshrew.
Yeah.
Sandshrews just like very cute and at the same time like very just interesting and cool. So I think people just have a very big affinity for him. I know there's a few people that I follow in the Pokemon Go community that absolutely love them. And my third one, funny enough, I didn't know what was wrong with it because this was young Colin, and it was my first shiny Pokemon that I accidentally received by, absolute amazing luck. Probably the only shiny Pokemon that I've ever received, and that was Metagross.
Oh, it's a good one.
I got a shiny Metagross, and I didn't realize, like, I just thought, oh, like, I guess the game's glitched out right now. I guess whenever I power it down and stuff, it'll change back. I didn't realize there were shinies back then. But yeah, Metagross is really cool. He's really good in Pokemon Go, so I really like being able to use him because I really enjoy him. And then his shiny just looks dope because he's made out of like super steel with gold, and it's just
Metagross
so
is
cool
a
looking.
unit.
Yeah,
I think he's
I love
part of
Metagross.
I think he's part of like the pseudo legendaries.
Yeah, he's a pseudo for Gen
Yeah.
3. Him and Salamence.
It's a solid like cop of getting him shiny.
Yeah, I don't remember how I ran across him getting shiny, but I just remembered that I was so confused on why he looked the way he did, and then eventually, like later on, whenever I really paid attention to the community of it, I was
Shout
like,
out. I cannot remember the kid's name in like middle school. But he gave me like he's the one who gave me like the action replay thing. I think it's because he got a better one or something. I don't know. But he just gave it to me like on the bus going home from school. And they had like a little mod you can get for shiny Pokemon and stuff. Because he had them like all filled out with the mod. So I never had to like, I didn't even know how to like do them. I never would have known how. I think maybe do it online or something and get it on. I have no idea, but
I mean, if it works anything like Game Shark back in like Nintendo whatever days,
maybe.
You just type in a hex code,
Mhm.
and that hex code replaces the hex code in the game.
Yeah, I have no idea how it worked, dude. But like every game that I pretty much would have used, because we played the same games and had action replay for, so I was like, all right, cool. And I threw like on a mod to get like shiny Pokemon, like for everyone I would find and stuff. It was just really cool. Like I did a playthrough of Diamond, I think, of just only shinies and stuff. It was really awesome. Or you can catch other people's Pokemon. So like in a fight, I would just throw master balls at their Pokemon and catch them. Then just beat them that way if I couldn't be bothered. Yeah. Those are some solid honorables, Colin. I can agree. One of them you said is on my honorables, so we'll talk about it in a little bit. But Zach, what are yours?
My honorable mentions are Gengar is one. I just really like Gengar. He's my favorite type of ghost type. He looks sick. My other one is Lucario. Ron, you turned me on to Lucario a while
Liqueur.
back.
You're about to say
Liqueur,
liqueur.
Liqueur. And then my final one is, oh god, what was he? Of course, I
Bulbasaur?
just had it in my head. No,
It was
no, not
Bulbasaur.
Sounds like it.
I think it was
It
Bulbasaur.
As I'm holding my Bulbasaur plush that Ron got me.
Oh my god, I did get you that.
They got it from like a Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, that was forever ago, man. It probably feels like 5 years longer that you said Dave and Buster's just because of COVID.
Yeah, honestly.
Zach, do you need me to come back to you for your?
No, honestly, I absolutely forget it. Oh my god.
Oh, Zach.
Yeah, I guess hit me back.
All right, I'll hit you back after mine. Maybe I'll say it. My honorables, I did put them in an order. So my number 3 honorable is Sandshrew. Solid Pokemon. I loved him in the show. He's a little cute dude too. So, gotta have him up on the list. My number 2 is Gengar, the best ghost type. I'm actually really happy he's getting as much love as he is.
Oh, dude.
I thought he
Gengar's
just looked
so
super
cool.
sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a big Gengar fan.
Yeah. And my number 1 is Nidoking. It's in agreement with Matt.
Let's go.
Yeah, because he's like, you can just get Nidoran like early on in the game, so he's a very like easy Pokemon to get full maxed out like really quick. He has a solid moveset too. So
My favorite thing to do with Gengar was you give him a Black Sludge, which heals you if you're poison type, but if you're not, it does damage to you. So I put that on my Gengar, and I would give him Trick. So when they would switch out
Ah.
of my Gengar, I would take whatever item they had and give him a Black Sludge, just to like meme on him.
oh
was pretty fun.
jeez, I think that's like that was probably like one of your like first like strategy games that like you took more seriously, I would think. You know?
That and so
Yeah.
that was like when I learned that I like strategy games.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I had to just stop playing Civ. Because, like,
I haven't
sucked
done
up
like
too
a
much.
12-hour Civ session for a while. I keep wanting to, but I'm like, nah, I like kind of want to not sit at my computer for
Yeah.
an hour today.
Zach, did you think of your 3rd honorable?
No, dude, I didn't.
Damn,
Crazy.
that's a shame.
I guess it has to
I
be
guess
Bulbasaur.
yeah.
It has to be Bulbasaur.
No.
That's how we'll end the episode. Is Zach's final
God.
honorable mention
Zach's
is Bulbasaur.
Gushing love for Bulbasaur.
Yes,
No, it's Pidgeotto. It's Pidgeotto. That's who it is.
that's who it is.
Yeah, that's a big lie.
That's
That's
yeah.
who it is. It's Pidgeotto.
That's a
He's a
Tiggle
cool
lie.
guy. Best hair in the game.
Not really. The Gen 4 Starly has much better hair.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
All right, so we're gonna end this episode with Zach having Bulbasaur as his honorable mention. But
Yeah,
thank you all so
sure.
much for listening to this episode. It's a little bit shorter than we usually do. It's about an hour 20, a little bit less. So we appreciate you guys sticking around. As always, a little fun fact for everyone: we have hit over 500 listens on all platforms.
Oh.
So yeah, good for us.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Episode 21. This should be for 500 listens. So it's pretty awesome. So thank you guys. We appreciate it. Even if if you just come in for 5 minutes, dip out, hey, that's fine. That's still another number on the statistic, baby. That's what keeps it going. So we appreciate it.
That's what keeps the lights on.
Yeah. All these lights in my room. Actually, some of the Christmas lights have been burning out recently. So get those numbers up, please. Trying to pay a bill here.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you all for listening to this episode. If you enjoy, Please be sure to leave a like, rating, subscribe, share a podcast, comment on YouTube, DM us on Instagram. That's where everyone's pretty much been hitting us up. If you can't find it, try Twitter as well. And yeah, we'll see you all next time. Thanks, everyone.
See you guys.